Here's Marjorie Taylor Greene speaking at a rally in Michigan for Trump. So he's still has not officially announced, but he's been campaigning across the country. He also played the Q-anon classical music song once again at this rally. Marjorie Taylor Greene just had an ad out where she spoke about Democrats and then transitioned to shooting hogs, trying to make a connection in her voters' minds that violence against Democrats is okay, and she has plausible deniability because of the whole hog thing. But as we've talked about on the show many times, right-wingers operate in coded messages to their extremist base as a way to maintain some sort of plausible deniability in public and satiate the bloodthirstiness and bigotry of their supporters in plain sight. And so here's Marjorie Taylor Greene in a massive instance of projection talking about acts of violence against Republicans by Democrats right after putting that ad out.
We're all targets now, though, for daring to push back against the regime, and it doesn't stop at a weaponized legal system. I'm not going to mince words with you all. Democrats want Republicans dead, and they've already started the killings. An 18-year-old boy was run down by a Democrat driver who confessed to killing the teenager simply because he was a Republican. Even right here in Michigan, just last week, an 83-year-old woman was shot in the back for advocating for the unborn. Yep. Joe Biden has declared every freedom-loving American an enemy of the state. But under Republicans, we will take back our country from the communists who have stolen it and want us to disappear. We will expose the unelected bureaucrats, the real enemies within, who have abused their power and declared political warfare on the greatest president this country has ever had.
All right. So she keeps...
Nice kicker there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that's all Trump needed to hear for that rally. Now, I think I said it was projection earlier. I want to correct myself because there's this great thread by Seth Coltar on Twitter, who is a writer of history and teaches history, and spoke about how this is worse than projection, what she's engaging in here. The term for this sort of rhetoric is an accusation in a mirror, and scholars of genocide identify it as a major warning sign when political leaders start talking like this. There's another thread there, but also discusses what she directly referred to there. In the replies, dozens of people have trotted out a right-wing talking point about a North Dakota teen who was killed by someone who was a Democratic voter, not an elected official. In this Fox News story, a North Dakota police chief says there's no evidence politics was involved.
Yeah, on that note, just to say, like, to the extent, like, it looked like this guy... Oh, okay, we can go on with Seth here.
He continues. So yes, both Fox News and the North Dakota police have said there's no evidence of this tragic death had anything to do with politics, but that didn't stop these GOP leaders from running with it for propaganda purposes. It's notable that so many people responded with exactly the same piece of misinformation they probably got from MTG herself. Blah, blah, blah. So basically debunking this story as a politically motivated hit when we know from hard data on right-wing extremism that in terms of deaths and body count and incidents, by far, much more likely to happen than left-wing extremism, and it's not particularly close.
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently, the Brandt, the guy driving the vehicle, told North Dakota Highway Patrol he hit Ellington that Sunday morning because of a political agreement, but that could have just been what he told the cops to try to justify it in the moments after he murdered somebody. Like, you can't base it, and that's why, like, you subsequently you've seen the cops say, like, we're not really sure, like, that's really what this was about.
Yeah.
Like that seems sketchy.
But, I mean, North Dakota cops are known to lie on behalf of a Democratic murderer who says he's murdering a Republican for political purposes, right?
The idea that there's going to be a civil war opened up, or like a Years of Lead style, violence, where Democrats start attacking Republicans just for being Republicans, and that started in North Dakota, that would be a bit of a surprise to me.
Yeah, it seems like the historian was talking about. It seems like the assailant was drunk and whatever. But we don't know the specifics of this story, but we do know, as I mentioned, the data on what political violence looks like in this country, and it's not. There's no comparison. And so when Marjorie Taylor Greene, in like the same week that she puts out this ad, goes to a Trump rally and says it's Democrats trying to kill Republicans, Democrats.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, you're trying to hide what you're truly trying to do here.
The Fargo Forum was the first to report that state troopers were skeptical the crash was politically motivated. No evidence supports Brandt's claims about Ellingson, including that the teenager called people to go after the motorist. Brandt made the statements when he was allegedly drunk, and it's not uncommon for people to say things to cover up a crime, Highway Patrol Captain Brian Nywin said. So I don't know, these right-wingers just don't want to listen to the cop.
Why do you guys hate cops? Why don't you trust cops, Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Why are you suppressing a cop's speech?
Hashtag cancel cop culture in the Republican Party.